hour of 7 o'clock is here. We're going to rise for the meeting.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a roll call, please.
Mr. Caputo.
Present.
Mr. Durkin.
Here.
Ms. Gaskott.
Here.
Ms. Prescott.
Here.
Mr. Novak.
Here.
Mr. Williams.
Here.
Ms. Saylor.
Here. So a quorum being present, the first order of our business this evening is to hold a public hearing on the budget, prepared in tentative form as set forth in the minutes of the meeting of the Board of Education held on June 10th, 2025. The tentative budget for District 208 for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026 was placed on file and was conveniently available at the district's administrative offices. All persons desiring to be heard will have an opportunity to present written or oral testimony related to the budget. At this time, Dr. Smetana, it's very good to see you. It's been a bit. Would you mind presenting and explaining the final budget?
Yes, good evening. The tentative budget, as Ms. Saylor said, was approved in June and has been adjusted through July and August based on the prior year actuals and updates to support building level projects and initiatives. Included in the packet is the final draft budget being proposed tonight for fiscal year 26. The projected deficit is $505,000 with due to the solar panel project, which is budgeted for $825,000 for this fiscal year. The only significant change since the August Board of Education meeting was an addition of approximately $30,000 in revenue from CPPRT based upon the estimate that was released in August. The tentative budget has been displayed on the district's website since June, and all changes have been updated accordingly throughout the summer for public review. A hard copy was also available in the business office. We did give public notice of the budget hearing more than 30 days in advance of tonight, both in the Suburban Life and the Landmark as well. Included in the budget, as always, is a summary of revenues. And as you can see on page 8 in board book, the significant sources of revenue for the district are real estate taxes, which are budgeted at 97% collection rate for this fiscal year. Evidence-based funding, which is our state funding, and that increased significantly earlier in August, which is what has made the projected deficit go down, as well as I previously mentioned, CPPRT, which has been updated. On the next page is a summary of significant expenditures for this district, and as you can see, staffing roughly usually it takes up about 80% of the general education budget, so there's lots of various line items for staffing, both certified, administrative, non-certified, stipends, etc. And then, as well as I previously mentioned, another significant expense this year is for solar panels, which is $825,000 out of operations and maintenance, plus some additional money for Ellett Park improvements, Little Theater HVAC, as well as the auto lift. And then lastly, as you can see on the next page, on board book page 10, you'll see a summary of all of the district's accounts, which shows the surplus and deficit projected for this fiscal year is $505,000. But then on the bottom, you can also see our projected fund balances. You can see the projected operating fund balance as a percent of our expenditures, including the $2.9 million in working cash, which is set aside for land development, is 63%. And then without the $2.9 million set aside in working cash, it's 55%. So what that means is by the end of this fiscal year, assuming the budget comes in exactly as we anticipate it to, the district would be able to operate for a little over 6 months without receiving any additional revenue. And we have had to rely on that in the past. So that's an important number that we always keep our finger on.
So related to that, do we have an estimated release date of the property tax dollars, or have you heard anything from the
I have
Township
not.
treasurer?
The last I heard was that they had no estimate for the actual release date.
Okay. I think I'm cautiously optimistic it will be before the close of the fiscal year, which I think, if it's not, presents a whole different series of problems. But it's good to have the fund balance that we do to get us through this current period, because we already would have been in receipt of the
Correct.
property tax dollars by now. Are there any questions from members of the board? I didn't see any submitted. We've actually seen this a couple of times now. But please, let's open it up for discussion related to the 25-26 budget.
We just want to make sure the board and public is aware, like the board chose to use money from the fund balance to pay for that solar project instead of, because we could not do grant bonds, otherwise that would violate some of the receiving the federal grants, rebates, some of those things. So we had to use our own funding for that. So while we do see a small deficit, we'll be making some of this money back over the next several years. Is that correct to say, Dr. Smetana?
Correct. The project should pay for itself within a little over roughly 5 to 6 years.
And this also anticipates consistent funding from the state from evidence-based funding year over year with I think, a small trend increase, which obviously is subject to some of the whims of Springfield as well, just so that we're generally aware. Any questions on the specifics? It's good to see Dr. Smetana back.
So there were really no surprises this year, like nothing, no wild swings or anything, pretty much similar to at least what I saw.
No, I would say we got a little more money in evidence-based funding than I was anticipating in terms of what's budgeted for, assuming we received all of that money, which in the past we have. Outside of that, no, there were no surprises.
So it's pretty much similar to last year. It's okay.
When does the evidence-based funding come in? Do we have a date on that?
It comes in, so they release the estimate or the budgeted amount in August, and then we receive monthly payments.
Okay.
Those start in September.
Any more questions or comments? Seeing none, open it up to the public for comments concerning the proposed final budget. Actually, I should ask our student board members first. I apologize to you both. Did you have any questions? Kind of got dump into the deep end here on a budget. Any questions? It's many, many millions of dollars. Any public comment related to the budget? Seeing none. All persons desiring to have been heard or given and have been given an opportunity to present oral or written testimony with respect to the proposed budget. Can I have a motion to adjourn the hearing?
The Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, moves that the public hearing on the 2025-2026 budget be adjourned.
We have a second, please?
Second.
Second, thank you. We have a second from Mr. Durkin, and we do need a roll call to adjourn the hearing.
Mr. Caputo?
Yes.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Gaska?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Mr. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Saylor?
Yes. Motion carried. Hearing is adjourned. The regular meeting now proceeds. Our first item on the agenda are FOIA requests. Dr. Skinkis.
Included in the board's packet are the 5 FOIA requests since your last meeting. Jacob Long, Public Data Research, Priscilla Centeno, the OMFM Law Firm, Justin Wang, Star Bridge, Jacob Plaza, Service Employees International Local 73, and then Owen Wang.
Do we have a FOIA request related to the article that ran last week, or is that still pending?
There was no FOIA request related to that.
Thank you. Moving on to visitor statements. I think we have people here for visitor statements this evening.
Do you go by what's?
Yeah, I think if you've signed up, please step up. I'm going to read a small paragraph as an intro of Ms. Buccio. The Board of Education welcomes and encourages the participation of its citizens in the business of the school district. There are 2 points in the meeting where visitor comments are scheduled. Citizens are welcome to raise questions or make comments at either one. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual and cannot be combined. Please note the Board of Education will not answer questions or engage in dialogue during visitor comments. If a person would like additional time to address the board, such a request should be submitted in writing 48 hours before the meeting to the superintendent. So I think Dr. Skinkis will keep time.
At 30 seconds, I usually raise my hand so you know to begin to wrap up. Okay.
Okay, my name is Liz Bushio. I live in Northwood, and I have a senior here at RB. For the benefit of those who may not be aware, in 2018, a graduate from RB has filed a lawsuit against Gary Prokes, the former head of RBTV, and against the school, alleging that Prokes had a sexual relationship with her while she was a student in his class and working at RBTV. The suit also claims that the school failed to protect her from Prokes and failed to properly investigate him. Now, there's a lot in this lawsuit, and it's absolutely appalling. What I want to point out are a couple of blatant misses by the administration that, if they had paid attention and done their duty, might have avoided some of the more egregious acts charged in this case. According to the lawsuit, during her sophomore year, the school instituted a new policy forbidding teachers from texting students or contacting them via social media, in part because they were concerned about Prokes' developing relationship with this girl. That's a clear indication that the inappropriate relationship between Prokes and this student was on the school's radar. Then on the night of the fall play in 2017, a student saw Prokes and this girl hugging in an RBTV studio and reported it to the administration. School officials assigned a vice principal to conduct an investigation of the relationship between Prokes and this student. At the urging of Prokes, the girl told the assistant principal it was just a hug. And yet that same school year, this child had an independent study period with Prokes and stated that she would regularly masturbate Prokes at the school. So my questions to the administrators in charge during that time are, why wasn't the inappropriate texting and social media messages enough? Why wasn't the hugging enough? How was an independent study between Prokes and this girl allowed? And why did you protect the predator and not the child? And members of the Board of Education, are you going to hold these administrators accountable for failing to protect this girl? Thank you.
My name is Chelsea Tekalik. I am a Riversider. My son recently graduated from the transition program. I'm here because I am disgusted with what happened to Jane Doe, the alleged victim as identified in the Landmarks article of September 5th. There were many red flags and prevention programs in place, and yet no one came forward or did anything to prevent this from happening. Does a culture of fear exist at RB? A fear of retaliation? Don't know. Sure seems like it though. So many things went wrong in this situation that could have been prevented. Why didn't the safeguards in place work to save Jane Doe's fate? As a taxpayer, I demand radical changes take place because of the incompetent leadership, lack of follow-through, and superficial investigation that recently allowed not one, but 2 sexual predators exist at RB. Think about that. I demand for the resignation of Dr. Skinkis and all involved in Jane Doe's case. I demand RB to create a new comprehensive policies to prevent educator sexual misconduct. I demand that RB create a new committee consisting of educators, parents, and law enforcement to create strict guidelines and enforcement of the guidelines for interactions between educators and students. Guidelines that are required to be included in yearly trainings and educator handbooks. Policies created to be put in place on how to handle and document boundary crossing or grooming behaviors. I demand that more thorough investigations be conducted before hiring staff that will have any interactions with students. I'm not naive. I realize that there's many sexual misconduct cases on the rise at schools everywhere. But this doesn't mean we should turn a blind eye. be numb or think it's normal. Some people may think it's bound to happen.
30 seconds.
Some people may think it's bound to happen to some kids along the way. That's the breaks, right? As long as it's not my kid. Well, that's not good enough. We must use this opportunity to build a new, better system with a zero tolerance for sexual misconduct. Thank you.
I am a resident of Brookfield. I have a student who just
Could you
graduated.
state your name? I'm sorry.
Oh, my name is Bridget Jakubiak.
Thank you.
I have a student who just graduated in the spring, and now I have another student just starting as a freshman. I'm also deeply disgusted and concerned that yet again, an RB teacher, the fourth time in 5 years, has been accused of very serious allegations in the newspaper. 4 times in 5 years. I need the board. I appreciate that you guys have legal and other matters you got to take into account here, but I need you to look at this as a pattern, not a one-off, because it's happened 4 times in the last 5 years. Serious allegations. Teachers have been fired, they've been disciplined, they've been arrested. And now we have another taxpayers are facing a serious lawsuit. We need to get beyond looking at these as one-offs or just he said, she said. We need to get a deep dive. The board needs to take a deep dive at the culture and the administration and how serious allegations are being dealt with in this school. I would encourage all of you to read the National Academy of Sciences 2018 report on sexual harassment in academia. Though it focuses on higher ed, I think there's concepts that this school needs to really get and understand. When there's a serious allegation like we saw in the newspaper last week, that's just the tip of the iceberg, and the iceberg hit us. That means the report lays out how often there's so much happening below the surface that is not getting caught, that is going under the radar. The snide comments, sexist remarks, students sexually harassing each other in the locker rooms, teachers making racist, sexist comments in the classrooms. And it doesn't get reported because teachers, students, and parents are afraid of retaliation. We need to deal with the culture. And I know we're up to the task. We have a great principal who's always respecting students and pushing a more positive approach, but we got to deal with the stuff that's happening in our culture. Students need to know that they're going to be respected in the classroom, regardless of who they are. And that's just not happening right now. I would really encourage you to create a pathway for people to report allegations of sexual, racial, or other types of abuse to one person rather than having it spread throughout the school so that somebody can pick up on the patterns of behavior that are happening. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Trent James Ketchmark. I'm a 2015 RBHS alum. I love this school. I love this community. I met my wife at this school. And in 2021, my wife and I moved back to Brookfield because we love the community so much. I've put on 2 fundraisers for the RBEF last year and the year before, and hope to do another in November. But I'm here to talk not about any of that. I'm here to talk about my experience as a student of Gary Prokes. I had Gary Prokes. I took his freshman introduction program in the summer. I plan to take RB 4 years. I wanted to go to Columbia to take TV, to continue my education and pursue this as a profession. 2.5 years into taking TV, I dropped out of RBTV because of Mr. Prokes' unbelievable behavior. I watched him time and time again belittle students, bring them to tears. He would be inappropriate. Every inappropriate comment you can think of, he would make. The man would have sexual comments. He would touch people inappropriately. He would Snapchat students. There were a period in my life where he would probably send me 15 to 20 Snapchats a day as a student. And I was done with it. I couldn't handle him as a teacher. He was a horrible teacher. But I loved the program still, so after I dropped his class, I told him why I dropped his class, and that I didn't agree with his teaching style at all. He made my wife cry when she was his student as well. There was always sexual comments. There were always jokes. He would regularly joke about. He would ask us how quickly we could get him drugs on his desk. This is who this was. This man should never have been teaching here. He did not act like a teacher at any point. He acted like a child all of the time. And the reason I'm here is because this is not the first time. Time and time again, over the past 14, 15 years, I've seen multiple issues of this. As a student, we knew about these things. We would talk about these things. Prokes would talk about these things with us. I remember discussing the case of Dallas Till with Gary Prokes. That was in 2012, 2013. I knew as a student then what our teachers were getting away with. I dropped his class. I continued to aid for the AV department, and I saw all the behavior. I was around in school when Jane Doe was in school. The behavior that I read about in the lawsuit is disgusting. I think we shouldn't be learning about these things from the landmark. We need to be learning about these things from the board. If you get a serious allegation like that, you need to present that to the community. You need to let them know this happened, that this was accused, and that you're going to investigate it. Because right now, I'm here as a 28-year-old, and I'm here to tell you that this is serious and this needs to stop. And I'm worried that this administration is going to continue to let it happen. I think the only way forward is a change. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Colleen Nee. I have a senior here at RB. I am basically here because awareness needs to be shared and things need to be taken more serious. On Thursday, my son's friends and my son were a part of a school threat. The boy was going to come shoot them at school. I understand that there's not a lot of you can do between minor to minor. I have taken every step along with a few other parents in this room with me today. We are not okay with this. This has not been told to any teachers for safety purposes, for the kids' mental health. Nobody has been talked to. Parents do not know. There were racial slurs in there against every different kind of race. So more than just a school shooting, it is now a race issue. We just don't think that there's a proper punishment in line. Our children are fearing to come back to school here. I moved to this neighborhood and bought a home here so my son can get the best education. And until last Thursday, I talked so brightly of this school, hearing about the sexual assault being hidden or not addressed. Let me not say hidden, not addressed properly. This has not been addressed at all. The police department has been no help. We have gone to court 2 days in a row to get restraining orders against the boy that will not be given to us. The school's making it seem like the safety plan is the boy will come back and the kids will be followed from class to class. Is ridiculous. The boy should not be here, and we would all just like to see him get some help with his mental health. The kids do say that he's had issues in the past of doing very bizarre behaviors. The school is aware, and nothing is being done about it. We're scared in our home. How does this boy, if he knows where we live? We are getting nothing, and our children need to be safe. I keep hearing, here in this building is safe, this building is safe. The building might be safe, but the children inside are no longer safe. I don't think that the boy should go to prison or be anything like that. I think he needs some help. I think the parents need to be looked at, and there needs to be a deeper investigation. He threatened it this time. What's next? He's going to shoot the school. He's going to come to my home. This is our senior year of our boys' high school. They are good kids. They've never been in trouble. They've never bullied. They are not even the type of children to do these things. And I'm not saying it's because my own kid, but there's just nothing being done. There's no safety plan that they're sharing with us. Everything has to be a secret. and I don't want it to be a secret anymore. Everyone needs to be aware, and I'm not going to stop till I get to the top. And I thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She helped me to interpret. My name is Margot Zamora. I'm mother from Alexis Ballon. He's a senior here at the high school. And he received this picture from one Masons tried to kill him. And right now we have, in my family, very stressed. I have 2 daughters and special needs. The oldest, she listened, somebody tried to kill his brother. And she's afraid, she's at home. We cannot sleep. In the school, they don't give to me and my son Alex one plan to save. They don't give it to us too much information. And can I ask, please, I can talk with the principal because I don't talk with the principal yet. I ask and ask, and I don't receive any information.
Okay, so Alexis is a senior here, and that's her son. He was threatened by the person who talked previously. There was a Snapchat roaming around that he was going to kill him and any of his friends that were with him. We had several conversations before this meeting. She says she's been trying to facilitate a meeting with the principal, and that has not been done. And if you, the members of the board, can facilitate a meeting with her to see what is the safety protocol where her son will feel safe to come into school on Monday, as the kid has been suspended and will return to school Monday. So she wants a plan written on the safety for her son and the plan for the kid returning to school. Is his bag going to be checked every morning? Will her son be safe in the cafeteria between periods in the morning after school? She wants a safety plan written for her, her son, and for the other child. What type of safety measures will be taken?
Alexis no se siente seguro de venir y no se siente que le importa a nadie porque nadie sabe. Sus maestros le preguntaron por qué no estuvo aquí jueves y viernes y cuando él les explicó, los maestros estaban muy sorprendidos y muy concernados.
Her son is afraid when he missed school last week after the incident, his teachers did ask him, why were you missing? And he said, you didn't know. So he feels that all his teachers need to be informed of what happened so he can feel safe inside a classroom. He does not want to return on Monday because he feels unsafe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any additional public comment this evening? Thank you, everyone, for your thoughtful comments. Under consent agenda, we do have action item approval of minutes. Ms. Gaska.
The Board of Education Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois takes the following action on the listed consent agenda items. Approves minutes from the meetings held on August 12, 2025, open and closed, as presented in the September 9, 2025 Board Agenda Packet.
We have a second, please.
Second.
Second from Mr. Durkin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? The motion carries. Moving on to old business, life safety, capital improvement, sustainability. I don't think we have anything this evening.
No update.
The main item for discussion is the final budget. We had the public hearing earlier this evening. Is there anything additional to report? Seeing none, I think we can take a motion to approve the final budget, please. Ms. Gaska.
Whereas the Board of Education of Township High School District 208, High School District number 208, Cook County of Cook, State of Illinois, caused to be prepared in tentative form a budget, and the Secretary of this board has made the same conveniently available to the public for inspection for at least 30 days prior to final action thereon, whereas a public hearing was held as to such budget on the 9th day of September 2025. Notice of said hearing was given at least 30 days prior thereto as required by law, and all other legal requirements have been complied with. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of said district as follows. Section 1, that the fiscal year of this school district be and the same hereby is fixed and declared to be beginning July 1, 2025, and ending June 30, 2026. Section 2, that the following budget containing an estimate of amounts available in each fund separately and of expenditures from each be and the same is hereby adopted as the budget of the school district for said fiscal year.
We have a second for the budget, please.
Second.
Second from Ms. Ruska, and we do need a roll call.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Gaska?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Mr. Roback?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Salas?
Yes.
Mr. Caputo?
Yes.
We do have Press Plus Policy Issue 119 that was discussed. Has it been in the board agenda for a couple of meetings? Dr. Skinkis?
Yeah, the 4 or 5 policies that we're recommending some minor changes to were included in the board packet, and highlighted in blue are the recommended changes. I did not receive any comments or questions on the updated policies, and the recommendation is to approve and amend the remainder of issue 119 as presented by the IASB and the policies that are attached tonight with the recommended changes.
Are there any comments from anyone on the board this evening related to the policies? I know Mr. Williams and I did go over them. Anyone? Okay, we can move ahead, please.
The Board of Education Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois approves Press Plus Policy Issue 119 as presented in the September 9, 2025 Board Agenda Packet.
And we need a second.
Second.
A second from Mr. Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objections? Motion carries. Under new business, we do have payment of bills.
Dr.
don't think we've
Smetana, I don't
received
think
any
there were any
questions on
questions
there.
submitted, correct?
There were no questions.
The Board of Education Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois approves the payment of bills as presented in the September 9, 2025 Board Agenda Packet.
So moved. We need a second.
Second.
Second from Mr. Durkin, and roll call, please.
Mr. Roback?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Salas?
Yes.
Mr. Caputo?
Yes.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Gaska?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
We have, as a first read, the proposed curriculum guide changes. I'm not sure who's presenting
So
on
we're
those.
going to, Dr. Fayes, there was one question submitted by Mr. Williams. He'll touch on that and the course fees, which I believe are next, correct? Ms. Lindquist and the administration are here next week to do their annual report on the school
2 weeks.
benchmarks on the 23rd for the committee of the whole. And so at that time, we'll address the actual curriculum guide. What you're seeing tonight as a first read are the course changes that were submitted by staff last spring and reviewed by the Curriculum Advisory Council in May. This is a first read, so the board approves any course changes or new courses. And then I will also have a summary provided from Ms. Lindquist next week on just to kind of refresh look, a revised look of the curriculum guide at the September 23rd meeting. So Dr. Freitas will address Mr. Williams' question about the new class in regards to like robotics and the opportunities affiliated with those new classes. And then when we move on to the next agenda, we can address fees, correct?
Yep. Good evening, honorable board members. So the question was related to new courses and how we partner with businesses in general. So in CTE courses, career technical education courses, specifically within the career pathways, there's team-based challenges component and work-based learning component necessary for the student to earn college and career pathway endorsement, right? There's like an internship kind of experience in those specific areas as mandated by law. In order for a student to get the credit, they have to have work experience. In proposing a new CTE course, it's important to consider the approach of how we make those connections necessary in order to meet the criteria. pathways that require, work-based experiences in our agriculture and food, architecture, arts, and audiovisual technology. Similar to what we see tonight, many of our students in RBTV, right, they record board meetings. That is a work-based experience. Government, hospitality, as you could think of our culinary art program, right, baking, we welcomed Dr. Sender from the State Board a week ago, right, baking and selling or giving, right, of goods. So all those career pathways in hospitality and marketing require that. Does that happen for every class proposed? Well, for CTES and for other classes, they've developed organically with the teacher connecting with outside business. But the administration is always willing to support, those relationships. So we're willing to work with the teachers, but those relationships outside of CET classes have developed organically.
So it's coming from the teacher. It's not coming from any. The teacher would propose partnering with a business or a university.
Sure. Yeah, and the conversation can come from a teacher, from an administrator, correct. But for CTE, what's required in order for kids to get the endorsement is that work experience. So gotcha. That's fundamental to that program. All the courses, relationships have developed organically coming from the teacher or from the collective team.
Are we making connections outside? Are we getting some internships? How do we solicit those opportunities?
Sure. Every year we have a trades fair, right, where, we have all the trades come, plumbing, electrical, construction, they come here. I believe I've seen many of you board members there present at the trades fair as well. We have a partnership with the plumbers union as well. So our student services counselors, our assistant principals, as Augustine has developed a lot of those relationships. We post a lot of information, internships available on our website. Counselors engage the students who may be interested. So we definitely bring the information back home. It's posted on our website, and we engage students with those opportunities.
One thing I'm concerned about is that we've seen some scholarships that were available that didn't get taken advantage of. And I was just wondering if there was any coordination between the counselors and the teachers of the said classes, so to make sure that everybody's aware that these things are available.
The relationship is existent. I see that as a missed opportunity, and we definitely have to do better to engage. But our counselors and staff, they engage the students. They share the opportunities.
Sure. I just I guess I'm just wondering if there can be a more, explicitly. We have this meeting once a year with the counselors to make sure that they're aware of all of these things, all of these opportunities that are available for students that sadly go unused.
And those conversations, I went to the counseling department, they meet weekly, they talk about career how students are doing. So those conversations do happen frequently here.
You're talking specifically in the food track.
But that was one of them. I'm just saying in general, I think these maybe it's because I'm staring down the barrel of college education for my own daughter, but the idea that we're leaving money on the table as a community, where students that show promise in any one of these fields, what I'm asking for is a coordination between these knowledge of these opportunities and making sure that the teachers are aware of them, making sure that the students that show promise in those areas are aware.
You want to make sure they've crosswalked all of the options,
Yeah.
And that seems like a reasonable request, and perhaps when Kylie is here next meeting.
Yeah, I definitely was going to plan on asking her too.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Miss Augustine.
Oh, Miss Augustine, she can answer that, yeah.
And when Dr. Freitas is done, maybe we can ask our student advisors here some of your experiences learning about scholarships, how you know they're there, and at what point are you approached?
Well, they're just starting their senior year. I think they're just starting.
Well,
that process,
but you should be approached probably junior year, so that would be my expectation.
Well, don't put that pressure on them.
Well,
Look at your eyes got very big
but
for a
I'm sure
second.
you have friends in that, so. Well, we could even ask now, Dr. Frey. I'm so sorry we've hijacked you. At what point, how are you introduced to some of these scholarships, or are you encouraged that, hey, if you take this class, this might work out as a scholarship for you, or?
With our counselor meetings, we were told that there's a list of scholarships in the RB website, but as a junior, it wasn't really that pushed out to me, so I didn't really know. But as a senior, I'm trying to tell my sister go and do these scholarships now.
Yeah, the information is on the website. I think it was recently updated with some more up-to-date things. But for more like, I personally I use ChatGPT to look up like scholarships.
Sure.
Like I feel like that's a great way of using that to come up with things. But I feel like if it's more available to students and more pushed, it would definitely be a lot more beneficial because it's kind of like hidden in the in a tab on the website, so you have to go out and look for it, and it's there, but it's not really. Some of the links are kind of like not up to date, or some of them aren't. There's no like anything like super, like there's like big scholarships like the Coca-Cola scholarship and things like that,
Which is not RB specific.
which isn't
right?
RB specific, but it would still be great if like we could have those pushed out there, and then also the smaller local scholarships are just as important as well.
So can we ask Ms. Augustine when she's here in 2 weeks to address this and kind of talk about how it populates the curriculum guide? I mean, there's somewhat different issues. The curriculum guide is the subject, but I think your issue
They're related.
is regular, right?
Yeah.
So I think we need to address it a bit comprehensively.
And just to add to the board, I want to say regularly we have, college and career nights. There was one this evening.
Mm-hmm.
So we have those meetings. We do communicate. I mean, there's an opportunity to grow, of course.
Right. Lorena had something.
Yeah, and thank you. And now that we're getting daily talks about statistics.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now it's too much?
It's daily. We run the risk of people not paying attention. I know I don't pay. Like, I catch up every other day. It's a lot. It's a lot. However, is there a way in the platform where you could push it out to senior families? I'd pay it, like, senior specific information, or even juniors and seniors, so that juniors can start to get prepped for that. Because I think that we now have the vehicle. Let's use it, right? I'd like to be able to be aware of that. That's an easy way.
Yes.
It's already set up.
Some of the best information that I got early on when my daughter was a freshman at the end of that year, we went to one of the college nights, but the best information was coming from one of the seniors who had done all of the research on her own, which is great. She was fantastic, and I think she got all of her college paid for. But I think to rely on an 18-year-old to do it well, she was fantastic, and we got a lot of information from her. I think we as a community can support that as best we can, and I'm all for it.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask our students again, because you're getting information from new places like ChatGPT, new places that we haven't in the past. Where would you be looking for this information? At this point in 2025, where do you expect to hear it from? Do you expect to hear it from your teacher in class? Do you expect it to come through like an extra email, or?
I would say it would probably be most beneficial if it was like, even just on the RB website, just like a link like right there that's really accessible. I'm not really sure like the nitty gritty of it, but if it's just if it's more accessible than it is currently, and I mean it really isn't too difficult to find this information on your own, and a lot of times like we do have to find things on our own because there's a lot of money out there. You have to look for it. So yeah, just more accessible than it is, because it's not like it's not there.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I mean, right now it's under the College and Career Readiness Home, but I'm hearing a couple of different threads that maybe we can ask our communications team and Dr. Freitas to give a little more thoughtfulness around where it's available, so that there's no stones unturned, is what you're asking for, right? Which is a little bit different than the curriculum guide changes, but I think it's, to your point, it's related.
Well, it came up because of the emphasis of the robotics class was talking about internships, scholarships, mentorships.
And that's part of the CTE requirements.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Which
Gotcha.
I think is a great idea for almost all of our classes, honestly. If there's scholarships related to them, we should know about them, and the kids should know about them.
But we also use our Positive Pride weekly and quarterly reports to communicate some of these opportunities. I believe many of you all receive the correspondence.
Well, and I think the FCCLA, is that how you say it? I think
Yes, FCCLA.
there's a lot of grant money through those programs. I mean, at least one of my daughters got some significant money through that, and they're seems to me talking about that more frequently also, because they're competing every year. And so they see their peers earning scholarships, some significant money towards different programs. So maybe there's other programs that are talking about scholarships all along through the competitions that they're doing, even through the clubs. I mean, several of the kids, when, my oldest went through, received $20,000 to Kendall through the competitions to the FCCLA.
So for the curriculum
That'll be
guide
addressed
changes, are
next
we going to
week.
have both Ms. Augustine and Ms. Lindquist here?
The whole administration
Okay.
team is here.
I think that would be helpful to have the full
Great.
team.
Absolutely.
And we'll see the broader changes to the curriculum guide, not just these
Right, there's a
specifics.
curriculum advisory council, I think
Okay.
is set up for the 18th, and then
Okay.
they'll review it just to make sure we're ready for that presentation on the 23rd.
Okay, so we'll get something beforehand that we can comment.
It'll be in the packet before, yes.
And it's a first read at the next meeting, then, the full
The
curriculum
board does not
guide?
need to
Okay.
approve the curriculum guide, it's just to show you that we've made some
Okay.
revisions and tried to make it more user-friendly, some of those things.
Okay, so we'll want people to submit questions beforehand so that the team
Right.
can be ready to answer.
Correct.
Perfect. Proposed course fees, I believe this is also a first read.
Yes, Dr. Freitas, you want to address the questions on the
Yeah,
course
so
fees?
there was a question concerning whether fees have doubled or tripled in some cases. Well, honorable board members, things have gotten more expensive. And when I think of our construction class, our pre-architecture, engineering, culinary arts, right? Career Safe OSHA 10-hour general industry training cards have gone up. Project Lead the Way subscriptions have gone up. Glowforge premium subscriptions have gone up. All the materials used in a construction, pre-architecture class, everything has gone up. So we unfortunately have to raise those fees in order to have the materials. We have more kids that are doing things that are hands-on, and with tangible materials, we're going to spend more money. So I know maybe it's not the best raising the fund, but we have to in order to give those kids an opportunity, to work with tangible product. But all the materials have pretty much.
I
The main one
agree, it
was
was my
the
question.
dance.
My question is just, where's the backup, right? To ask for that kind of an increase, there has to be some type of someone did the calculation. Just would like to, and I think on the list, you have honors dance had some itemized reasons. This is going up, that's going up.
Correct.
The other ones didn't have that type of itemization. So it was my question, just looking for some more detail is before we go to 100% increase in something. I trust that the work has been done, just include the work in the board packet.
Yes, Madam President.
Yes.
That was my request. I don't think anyone had any other comments.
Respect that request.
So do we want to talk about those, or we're going to actually bring them to the next meeting?
I'll have Dr. Freitas
Okay.
update those.
Okay, let's do that.
Again, for the one, like the cost of lumber has increased, the cost of lumber
Sure.
has
Yeah,
increased.
number 3D printing supply. We'll add those in the
Okay.
description just as dance.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next item is this is also a first read, out-of-state overnight field trips. I think there's 3 listed.
Correct. I always leave the option to the board on these, but these are the overnight trips that are slated to occur primarily through February. You have the Illinois Theater Fest in Bloomington. The Varsity Palms team has qualified to compete at the National School Spirit Championships in Orlando, Florida. This is not
Congratulations to them.
They did a great job this summer. This is not a school-sponsored trip. The school sponsors and covers costs related to only the state competition. So this is something that they're looking to fundraise and attend on their own. And then you have the ski and snowboard club with their 3 planned trips. So 2 of those are out of state, and the Galena one is more than 200 miles. The Palms trip is overnight out of state, so it's still required board approval. And then the theater is overnight.
So I will say I appreciated the detail. I know in the past some of the details have been insufficient in my estimation, but in this case, all 3 I think really showed the breakdown of costs, so I appreciate that. Were there any questions from anyone on the board?
No questions were submitted on the field
Yeah.
trips.
Do we have any objection to approving them this evening in the interest of letting people begin their fundraising?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. It's fine.
Okay, thanks.
The Board of Education Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois approves the out-of-state and/or overnight trip requests for theater, Varsity Palms, and the Ski and Snowboard Club as presented in the September 9, 2025 Board Agenda Packet.
Can we have a second, please?
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Durkin, and I believe we need a roll call.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Salas?
Yes.
Mr. Caputo?
Yes.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Gaska?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Mr. Novak?
Yes.
Second opportunity for visitor statement. If anyone didn't speak previously, would like to speak now, you're welcome to do so. Girls in the back, I wasn't sure if you guys wanted to speak. No? Okay, just checking. I wasn't sure if you were getting ready to come up or not. Board of Education discussion items. Does anyone on the Board of Education have a request to add an additional discussion item for this evening? Not seeing any. We usually bundle this with the items for future meetings. We do next Tuesday have the IASB workshop. I did reach out to everyone. It's a two-part workshop. If you go to the IASB website, you'll see that we cover both our rules of operation as well as using the IASB facilitator to work through the various district goals. So if we could all give some thought to those as they're laid out, and we can have a pretty robust discussion next Tuesday. The first portion will be in closed session, just so everyone from the public understands. And it'll be a working meeting where I'd like to really have some good discussion internally.
I'll send a packet on Friday. Tammy will send the packet on Thursday or Friday with the history of the goals and any documents related to the activities the IASB facilitator has planned.
And the facilitator is Lori, I miss Andron.
Hines, is it? Grant, Lori Grant.
Lori Grant. She is the IASB facilitator who worked with us, Lori, I remember, on the mission statement and when we did the public meeting about mission statement about 6 years ago. So she's got some good background on the district, which I think will be helpful. Matters for closed session. We do have appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body. Student discipline, individual student matters, purchase, sale, or lease of real property, probable imminent or pending litigation, collective negotiations, as well as school safety. Ms. Gaska?
The Board of Education, Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois, enters closed session for the purpose of considering the closed session matters as presented in the September 9, 2025 Board Agenda Packet.
Can we have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Second for Mr. Durkin, and we need a roll call to go into closed.
Mr. Caputo?
Yes.
Mr. Durkin?
Yes.
Ms. Gaska?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Mr. Novak?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Salas?
Yes. Okay, the